Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, Happy Automation. And from this video, we are going to look at UiPath Test Suite and how we can start with our UiPath Test Suite for automation testing, application testing, or like ERP testing or something. And you are an UiPath developer and planning to explore how the UiPath test suite works, and then you are at the right place to look into each and every detail of test suite. And whenever we are going for a testing, we will be using some ALM tools. ALM tool is nothing but application lifecycle management tools. And for example, we can say most popularly used tools are JIRA from the Atlassian and ServiceNow. So for now, in this video series, we will be considering JIRA, and we will see like how we can create a Jira test account and how we can practice with the UiPath Test Manager integration with the Jira. And generally, what we generally do in ALM tools is we can manage our requirements and also track the test results of if we have any defects, or like if we any test cases got failed, we can create a bug issue like defect tracking, and that we can do with the ALM tool. And here with UiPath Test Manager or Test Suite consists of a UiPath Test Manager Hub, UiPath Studio, UiPath Orchestrator, and UiPath Test Robots. And this is our UiPath Test Suite. And we have an integration with the ALM tool. So the advantage of having this integration is as soon as we create some requirement in ALM tool, that will get reflected in UiPath Test Manager requirements. And in case if any test cases got failed, and we can directly create the defect in the ALM tool. That is the advantage of having this integration. And we can migrate our tests, all the test scenarios or requirements, everything to UiPath Test Manager. And here, the studio is to develop our automation scripts for the test cases, and we can publish them to the UiPath Test Manager. And once we publish the whole project, whatever we created for the test automation, that will get reflected in the orchestrator as well. And here, if you want to execute any test cases manually, you can do that either from the test manager or from the orchestrator. And the execution will be done with the help of UiPath test robots. And here, in case if you are going on a life cycle like CI/CD, like DevOps, then you can use your CI/CD pipelines to trigger our test cases. And we have the plugins for Jenkins and Azure DevOps as well. So as soon as some deployment is done, and we can trigger all of our regression test cases to execute the test results and log the test evidences and results in the test manager from with the help of CI/CD pipelines. And once the test cases are like executed, we can see our test results in our test manager web application. In case if any test cases got failed, and we can validate the test case, is it because of some data issue or automation error or actual test case failure? In case if it is an actual test case failure, with a single click, we can create the defect under ALM tool, whatever we are using it. So this is the overall architecture of UiPath Test Suite. So we're done with this, and now we will look into how we can integrate our UiPath Test Suite and the ALM tool. And for this video session, we will be using our UiPath Test Manager, and also we will be seeing like how we can create a Jira account and we can configure our projects. So here, this is the automation cloud platform of UiPath. And from here menu, we can access the products of UiPath. And here we don't see any product, which is like test manager. So to get that, this is my orchestrator services, and I can click on this manage, and I'll be coming to here. If I click on my tenant, skill RPA. Here I can go to my services, and inside this I can look for test manager. So if you see here, this got disabled, I can enable it from here, and now it has got enabled. And if I come back here, let us come back to the home. And now we can able to see our test manager. Not able to see that, right? Let me come here and go to the test manager. Let us go to the services. So here is my test manager. And what we can do is, like, from here also we can access it. So it took a bit time in order to get the things reflected back. There is some, it will take some time when it is getting enabled. So let me delete all these projects. I don't want to see all these projects now. So because previously I created this, that's the reason for which we are seeing this. So let me delete this. And now we can create our project, or we can import the project as well. So let us go ahead and create a new project, and we can give the project name. Testing. So this is my project, and we need to have give a prefix. Like it should have minimum 3 characters. We can say the ID for the project, we can say similar to. So what I'll do is, or else, UiPath Test Suite. So we can give the description. This project is to demonstrate capabilities of UiPath Test. So you can click on create, and our new project is got created here. So if you see here, right, this is our project. And if I click on here, I can see my project here. And if I mark it as a favorite, then I can see this project under this favorites. And in case if I remove this, it won't be available here. So when we have multiple projects, and if we are trying to access the same project multiple times, more than one, then we can just have this. And here it is, owner is admin. And let us suppose if you created a project and that is not visible to anyone else in your team. So to make that visible, you need to click on edit. Oops, sorry. So we'll go here. Under this project settings, here we have the manage access. So here we can assign the users in order to give the access to those your colleagues or your teammates, and you can mention what type of role they require. Test manager will have all the accesses, and the manual tester will have only the access to execute the step-by-step test scenarios and update the status. And the designer will have all the capabilities of like building the scripts and all. And the executor will have only the execution permissions, like he can only execute the automatic scripts. So these are the roles we have, and we can give our permissions to any of the people. And by default, only the owner, whoever the user created this project, will have access to this. And here is our dashboard of UiPath Test Manager, from where we can see all our test coverages and how it was, the test results and all. In case if you are uploading any documents, we can see those documents here for this particular project. And here is the requirements. So we can create our requirements from here. Like we can just give the name of the requirement and what actually the test case needs to, testing we need to do for a test case. And also we can sync these requirements from the ALM tool. And as we are planning to go with our ALM tool, Jira, so here we are not going to create any requirement manually, and that we will see in the further sessions how we can create that. And what are the test cases we created in the UiPath Studio and published to the test manager, those will get reflected here. And the test sets is we can create the test sets and we can add multiple test cases to that. And we can execute these test sets, which will execute all of the test cases which are a part of this test case set. And this test set can have only one test case or it can have more than one test case. So this is how we can leverage this test sets. In case of regression testing, if you are trying to trigger these test cases from some ALM or some CI/CD pipelines, then test sets is going to help us a bit more. And we can see the test results of each and every test execution here in the test results tab. And even from the test cases also, we can see how the execution was happened, and we can see that from the test sets as well. And we'll see, like, as we progress our testing, we'll see all this, how each and every tab will look like. And for now, our primary focus is to connect our Jira with UiPath Test Manager and see how the requirements, whatever we are creating in the Jira, are getting reflected here under the requirements or not. That is our major concern here in this video. And later, going further, we'll look into each and every tab and we'll do some test cases development and we do execute from the manager and we'll see all these things. In order to configure, because we need to configure the ALM to here, so it is in settings at the project level, and here we have the integration. And we need to click on this integration. And here, if you see, we have a connection to multiple ALM tools. And we can configure Azure DevOps or Jira Server, which is on premises, and Jira Cloud, which is on the cloud Jira. And now we are going with Jira Cloud, and we can have X-Ray Server or X-Ray Cloud or ServiceNow or Redmine, whatever the ALM tool you are using, we can configure any of these connections. More or less, everything will be similar. And for each and every configuration, UiPath has well-defined steps how we can do these configurations. So to go with Jira Cloud, first let us go ahead and set up our Jira account. So to start with, you can start with your Google account, but I don't want to go with my Google account. I want to manually sign up. Or if you click on this Microsoft or a Google or Slack, any of this, automatically your account will be created. So here I want to go with skillup.com, and this is my email ID. It's not necessary that we need to have all the time with the company domain. We can have our Gmail as well. I'm clicking on sign up. Did this. So the verification is done. And now I need to validate my email. So we come here. This is my mailbox. We refresh this. And Jira for, I think, up to 5 users or something, it is free. So for learning purpose, we can use this Jira account. Here I can give my full name, automation, password, click on sign up. So I got my Jira Atlassian account got created, and let me go with software and service management. I selected the JIRA software. Click on next. We can have it our Google, or we can go with this as well. rpa.com. I'm getting some error here. So it is 3 up to 10 users. Come here. Open this as well. Perhaps minor issues. This one service task. It is not required. You need to go with this, get it for free. Got it. Accepting because I'm using contact. Is that the reason? See one more email. So now I got contact at skill RPA. Now I just need to give the name. With all the lower cases. Now I got happy automation.atlassian.net. Click on agree. I don't require my email address. This is software development, and I'm an software engineer. These are not required, just select some random and click on next. Even we can skip this as well. So now it is creating my JIRA account, and it is making the things ready for me to use that. And now let us come back here. Let's see. Let us wait for a while. So my JIRA account is getting ready, and this is my JIRA. Can select new to our experience. It doesn't matter. I'll select new from my software teams. My team is YouTube. Just skip this. It is not required. See. I can create UiPath test project. Create this. And this is my project key, and we'll see. how it is getting generated. I don't want to have anything connect right now. I'm just keeping everything. So this is my project which I created. Okay. This is starter. So once my project is got created, so I don't want to go with this. I wanna create a new project. Let's see applicant task we have, and even this is also fine, I guess. But I'll go to the project settings and see issue types. You can add issue types as well. I'm adding both. I'll add the bug. Click. And I want to add one more story. And I want to add one more, which is test. Test, I can have this icon. We have all the ways to select the things. So I have these many issue types now. So in case if I want to create any issue, previously I have only task and epic, but now I have all this. So cancel. And let us come back to the project. So now our JIRA project is ready. And now we'll see how we can integrate between these two. And let us click on settings. Settings. Essentials. Let's do one thing. We'll have Jira Cloud. We are selecting this and we'll go with the basic authentication. And I can say happy automation is the name. And server URL is nothing but till this .NET. Whatever we have, we'll be copying it and we'll be putting that here. Web URL we can ignore. And the user is contracted skill RPA. Can use this. We need to get the API token, and the defect type is nothing but bug. That's why we added one more point, right? The project key. We have seen, right? When we click on projects, see this UIP. If you click here, UIP is in the parenthesis, right? This is our project code. And we can have it as project key as UIP. And now only thing what we need to get from there is like API token. And let us see how we can generate the API token from this. We'll search in the Google. So we need to go to this website. Here we can create our API keys. Now we are clicking on the API token and I'll be writing UiPath test and we'll click on create. And we can copy this. We are coming back and we are pasting here. And we'll click on create. So the integration is done from the UiPath Test Manager side. And now how we can do that from the UiPath. And here what we need to do is we need to install UiPath app. We search in the under the apps. We selected apps and under that we just searched with the UiPath. And now we have UiPath Test Manager for JIRA Cloud. We click on this and we'll get that app, get app. And now we'll click on get it now. And our UiPath Test Manager for JIRA Cloud is added. So it is syncing still, but that is fine. It will get reflected soon. So if we come here, click on manage your apps, we'll see whether that was got added or not. And let us see how. This. So UiPath Test Manager for JIRA Cloud is got added now. And we'll come back to our project. See here, under the apps, we have UiPath Test Manager. So we'll click on allow access. So we just need to authorize this UiPath app and click on accept. So we are allowing UiPath Test Manager to do the modifications on this app. Like this will create the bridge between these two. See, the bug is already going to be get created from UiPath to here. So what we need to do is we need to select which story we want to get the things reflected in our API. So let me come here. If I expand, right? So here I have one API key. I'll copy this API key and we are going to put that API key here. And also we need to have our test manager URL and till this underscore is my test manager URL and we'll be putting that test server URL. And here, which type of story we want to get reflected. So I want only the test. If I want to see only the test stories to be get reflected on the requirements, then I'll just select that. If you want to have something else also, we can select. So I'll go with this. I'll click on save. Now this is done. And now what I'll do is I'll just come here. We come to the requirements. And I'm not going to do anything in the UiPath Test Manager for now. What I'll do is I'll just come here. Click on create. And here instead of task, I'll create test story for UiPath Test Manager. So I'll put the same description here now and I'll click on create. So my issues got created, which is with UIP-1. So my issues got created. Dismiss. And I'll come here and I'll refresh this page. So here I have UIP-1 is my story for the test. And if you see here, UTS:1 is my requirement, because here the prefix, when we are creating the project, the prefix what we have given is UPS. Let me open this here. See, this is the UTS prefix, right? So let me click on cancel. And let us see in the requirements. UTS. So whatever the prefix we have given, that will be our key with a number following to that. If we create one more requirement, it will be UTS:2. In that way, it will come here. So here we created the test, right? And that got reflected. Now let us create a task. Task, story, and this shouldn't get reflected. And I'll just copy the same in the description. I'll click on create. So even this is got created. UIP2 is got created, but this is of task. This is not a test. So it should not get reflected here. If I refresh this, that was not got reflected, right? And let us do one thing. I'll come here to the UiPath Test Manager and I'll select the task as well. And I'll click on save. So as soon as I selected this task, right, whatever we already created may not come here. But if I create now a new task to reflect in UiPath Test Manager. We just do the same here and click on create. So this has got created with UIP3. And if we come back to the UiPath Test Manager and click on refresh, here is my second test. New task to reflect in UiPath Test Manager. If you see the name and description, it was of the same. Here, this is the third story, but here for me, it is a second item in my test manager. Why I am saying item, not the requirement, is if I create a test case, that will give me UTS:3. And after that, if I create a requirement, here I won't get 3, I'll get 4. And here everyone will get one more question. Can't we do this like across the test manager integration? See, whatever the integration we are doing for this JIRA or ALM tools, it is specific to the project. And here, if you see our integration, we are configuring our project key of the JIRA. And also here we are configuring our UiPath Test Manager. So this is project to project relation. So hope you got to know like how we can integrate with JIRA, and in the similar way we can do with X-ray or whatever it might be, the ALM tool you are using, the test management tool you are using. And here we're done with the JIRA integration, and we'll see how we can create the test cases and how we can link those test cases to the requirements in the next video. And also gradually we'll see like what are the new activities were got added in UiPath Studio in order to support you for UiPath Test Suite or Test Manager. And thanks for watching, and please subscribe to Happy Automation and hit the bell icon.